name is Jihyeon. I'm a master's student from the Department of Social Welfare at Jeong National University. It's a great honor to have this opportunity to present my research in this conference. The title of presentation is the effect of the self-esteem on the practice performance of social work students, focusing on the mediation effect of empathy. I was interested in practice performance of social work students and wanted to examine the relationship between self-esteem, empathy, and practice performance. Contents like this. Practice performance is basic attitude, knowledge, and skills that social worker must have in order to effectively perform in the field. And one of the abilities that social work students should acquire before entering the field. In the field of social work education, we are trying to improve future social workers' practice performance. Some research, like this study, is also currently being conducted to support this goal. According to a previous study, the factors affecting practice performance can be divided into personal factors and field experience factors. Personal factors like self-esteem and empathy, and field experience factors like school classes, volunteer work, and field training. Social work services are based on relationships. So, personal factors are important for practice performance. In particular, self-esteem has a great impact on practice performance. It increases the resilience of workers, and it increases the insight need in the field and actively engaging in the role. Empathy also has been reported to have a positive effect on practice performance. A study by King and Philosopho said allows social workers to take clients sensitively because it plays a role in the development of positive relationship between social workers and clients. In addition, according to peer research, people with higher self-esteem have higher level of empathy. This research predicts that self-esteem will have a significant impact on empathy and will bridge the gap between self-esteem and practice performance. Therefore, in this study, we are interested in the practice performance of social work students and will examine the relationship between self-esteem, empathy, and practice performance. These are the research questions in this study. First, how does the self-esteem and empathy of social work students affect practice performance? Second, does empathy have a mediating effect in the relationship between self-esteem and the practice performance of social work students? Next, in the experimental model, we would like to examine the relationship between its variables. Self-esteem is the general attitude of thinking and acknowledging that one is capable, valuable, and important. It is reported that if a social worker's self-esteem is high, they will have more insight and will be able to practice more effectively and actively in various situations, thus improving their practice performance. In addition, self-esteem is also reported to have effect on clinical performance. Clinical performance is a concept similar to practice performance. According to the study, the higher self-esteem of the social worker was, the higher their clinical performance was. Next, empathy is the ability to feel and experience the emotions of others based on the perception of others' situation of emotions. It is an essential skill for social workers in the field, as it is an important factor in the development of relationship between social workers and clients. According to a study by Go and colleagues, empathy has been shown to have positive effect on social workers' ability to practice in the field, such as practice performance and clinical performance. These findings support that self-esteem and empathy are essential abilities that social work students should have before they go into the field. According to previous studies, we can confirm that self-esteem also affects empathy. Park and Jeong said, the person with higher self-esteem is more sympathetic to others than a person with low self-esteem. Jeong said, self-esteem and empathy have a significant correlations. And Lee and Yang, self-esteem has a significant effect on empathy. Also, a study by Park and Jang found that people with high self-esteem also have high empathy. These findings suggest that the self-esteem of social work students has a significant impact on empathy and practice performance. Thus, we can predict that empathy will be a mediating factor in the relationship between self-esteem and practice performance. This study was conducted on third and fourth year undergraduate social work students who had completed their field training in Jeonbuk province. And data from a total of 146 students were analyzed. The analysis was made using SCM with Amos 22. Each of the variables used in this study was measured this. and reliability was shown as follows. Practice performance is 0.961, self-esteem is 0.885, and empathy is 0.789. Before analysis, the result of examining normality and multicollinearity are as this. The absolute value of sickness is between 0.028 and 0.312. And the kurtosis is between 0.191 and 0.474. So there was no problem with normality. And the VIF is 1.032, so there was no problem with multicollinearity. The result of the measurement model are as this. And in this study, it can be seen that GFI is 0.933, CFI is 0.975, and RMSEA is 0.076. Also, CR is more than 0.7 and AVE is more than 0.5. So, the measurement model in this study was considered appropriate. The results pertaining to the mediating effects of empathy are these. Self-esteem of social work student has an effect of 0.382 on empathy and 0.414 on practice performance. And empathy have an effect of 0.464 on practice performance. Through this, it was confirmed that empathy partially mediates the relationship between self-esteem and practice performance. To sum up, the self-esteem and empathy of social work students affect the practice performance, and empathy has a partial mediating effect in the relationship between self-esteem and practice performance. Finally, this study was intended to verify that empathy of social work students had a mediating effect in the relationship between self-esteem and practice performance. And to see the potential of developing a theoretical basis for promotion of practice performance in the education of social work students. Also, it is meaningful that the result of this study suggests the direction of social work education to improve the practice performance of social work students. In addition, follow-up research is required to find various factors outside of empathy that may also have a mediating effect in the relationship between self-esteem and practice performance. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening and thank you for attention.